Hey guys, what's Weekend Vacations? Welcome back to another episode review of Tales from the Darkside, Season 1, this time episode 16. Excuse me. And also excuse whatever power tools you might be hearing in the background. My neighbors are working on fucking, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Like I said, Leatherface is next door, just sawing people in half again. Anyway, episode 16, The Tear Collector, which is directed by John Drimmer, also based on a story teleplay by John Drimmer and Geoffrey Loftus. It stars Jessica Harper from Fan of the Paradise, Victor Garber as Ambrose Cavender, Eric Bogosian in a brief little role as a junkie. Victor Garber, you might recognize him from Titanic. That's probably the one main role you probably remember him the most is in Titanic. He played Thomas Andrews in Titanic. And this episode was interesting, but ultimately pointless. It really was an interesting episode, but at the end of the day, it was confusing because the ending I just thought really didn't make any sense. So what happens is Victor Garber plays this character named Ambrose Cavender. And what he does is he's a tear collector. He collects tears from, women who are sad and really, tragic. And he wants the best, he wants the best tears. Like for people who just can't stop crying or whatever, are always sad. So, but the thing is, the episode really does not explain why he collects these tears. He just collects tears in these perfume bottles, and once he fills them up, fills up the bottle with the person's tears, then he's done, and then they can never be sad again or something. But it's not really clarified that well. So I really don't understand what is going on. But it was an interesting episode, and it was worth one watch, mainly because of the performances. I thought Victor Garber did a good job. I thought Jessica Harper was great as always. I've always loved Jessica Harper ever since I've seen Fan of the Paradise. I thought she was a very she's a very beautiful woman in her own right, but also she's more of a traditional old school type actress. And so she did a good job. She played this woman named Prudence, who is very sad, and she can't stop crying over little things, over her life. And so she meets up with this guy, Victor Garber, who says he could help her. And she goes in, and he basically starts collecting her tears. And then she starts to fall in love with him. And then she tries to, put the moves on him and, so forth. And he's all like, no, I can't do this. I can't. And you don't really figure out what is wrong with this guy. I thought at first maybe he's an alien. Maybe he's dead. Maybe he collects tears so he can steal people's souls. I threw the tears. I don't know what really happens. Because then at the end of the episode, Jessica Harper is upset. She thinks he's just using her. So she goes into his room full of tears, tear bottles full of tears, and just smashes them. And then she runs away, and she grabs her bottle of tears, and she runs out into the street. She almost gets hit by a guy in a cat by some guy in a car, and she drops her tears and the bottle of tears, and it smashes all over on the ground below. And then she meets up with this guy, and then he asks her out on a date, and then that's the end of the fucking episode. And I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck happened. What the hell happened here? And that's the main problem with this episode. I don't know what the fuck happens. I don't know why this guy's collecting tears. I don't know why Victor Garber is collecting women's tears of sadness. I don't know why, and it just doesn't really make any sense. It's somewhat of an interesting idea. It felt more like a Twilight Zone episode than a Tales from the Darkside episode too. But sometimes there's some episodes of the series, like Slippage, that work really well. So that are kind of more like Twilight Zone episodes. But this wasn't one of them because it's confusing, it's muddled, it doesn't know what it wants to do, and ultimately it ends up being pointless. So would I say that it's a really bad episode? Not really necessarily, but it's really poor in terms of its execution. It's not poor in terms of its acting, performances, or, its premise. It's just really poor in its execution. So yeah, I really don't know what else to say about the Tear Collector, except, I was interested in the premise, and then ultimately at the end of the episode, I was just giving a big middle finger and never giving no explanation about what the fuck I just watched. So in many ways, it's a little bit more infuriating than an episode that's just annoying. So yeah, I probably would say this is one of a review / rant, because this episode I thought had potential, good cast, an interesting premise, but it doesn't fucking explain what the premise is or what the purpose is of it, and then the episode just ends, and then you're left asking so many questions, and it's completely unsatisfying. So I really don't know what to say about the Tear Collector, except I hate these type of episodes that don't fucking explain shit, and I really don't know what to say except thanks for watching my review / rant of the Tear Collector, and I will see you guys later. See ya.